Hello everybody. Hi guys. How are you all doing today? So it's April 18th. It's about 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the coin market cap first of all. But before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you guys upvoted the content on Steemit if it has helped you in one way or another. And if you guys absolutely love the content, you guys are welcome to buy me a lunch or a dinner or a beer by simply donating to the Luna and Philicon cryptocurrency piggy bank. So let's get started. What we see is actually the coin that we're getting a lot of money put into the market right now, okay? Which is a phenomenal thing. Every time I look at coin market cap, what I'm noticing about it is that, well, yesterday we were at $325 billion, and today we're at $341 billion. A lot of coin guys are getting, all coins in particular, are getting a small bull run. We look at Stellar, and clearly it's had a stellar day at 16.19%, with an increase there, green across the board. Bitcoin Trash actually is up 15%. That's not a coin I would touch within a 10-foot pole right now. I personally believe that Bitcoin Cash is, maybe I shouldn't keep my fundamental opinions too voiced here on my YouTube channel. Dash had a great day. Monero had an even better day. The award goes to Monero. As you guys have seen me short in my Twitter, I should probably record more of my live trades. I think from now on, whenever I do enter a trade, I'm going to actually just simply record every single trade throughout the day that I make as well. Maybe I'll even start live streaming live trades as well. But that's a lot of pressure. See, that's a lot of pressure to live stream my trades, so I'm not really sure if that's something I'll be doing. So, excuse me there. Monero had an awesome day, guys. Like, I was shorting it like crazy yesterday. I'm just going to show you guys how great of a day it was actually yesterday for Monero. And I was shorting it like a monster yesterday. And I was making like, I think I made like $2,000 off of Monero yesterday just by shorting it a few times there. So, yeah, it had very low volume. It had a volume of about, so not too much liquidity, of about $8 million last night. But my friends and I, we have a reputation for smashing walls because we play like a group as a team, which is something I recommend to people as well. If you guys have like a sizable amount of capital to play in the market, try playing it with a team, right? Because you can actually become market movers, you can say. Just as an example, right? Like Litecoin actually, Litecoin, it, where was my post from Litecoin yesterday? Oh yeah, here's one of the posts, right, where there was a bunch of people that were creating walls here on Litecoin, 227, right, 1,201 there, and of course my friends and I decided to smash the wall there with our friends. We ended up smashing a combined of like over a few, maybe like $1 million or $2 million just to smash the Bitfinex wall. I'm not saying I play with that much in general, but we ended up creating a fairly large wick that ended up just smashing a wall that we didn't like there. And that's exactly what we did with Monero as well. So I was playing some pretty large positions yesterday, between $20,000 to $30,000. That's a big day trading scalp position. You have to remember that as well, right? So I even gave a signal um, to the public yesterday that was going to happen, right? XMR is going to get destroyed. See that RSI, and I tweeted as well, ready for XMR, which was basically giving a short signal. I like how this person right here, Olivia, she said, "How high will I go? When should I jump in?" And I said to her, "Well, more like how low will it go?" So yeah, and then we ended up just smashing these walls, right? People were holding up the walls. We created some massive wicks, right, with my 85 position there, and some of my friends were playing like 300 Monero positions. So I was making like about $470 profit. And for all of my trades, I'm very transparent. I not only show my profit, but I actually show the candle as well that we impacted, and I also show the actual order book, which you guys are welcome to take a look through the Bitfinex order book if you don't believe me. Some people have said that they're photoshopped. Well, if you guys want to actually spend the time and go check it out, you are more than welcome to, but I assure you they're not photoshopped in any way. And then, and then we ended up smashing it even more, right? Another $406 profit. And this was a good trade, guys. This was a $406 profit in a 6-minute trade, right? So I ended up entering a position at 1:57 in the morning, closed it at 2:03 in the morning, literally a 6-minute trade. And then shortly after that again, another 6-minute trade on Monero, all short positions. I didn't go long on it once, right? From 2:16 in the morning to 2:22, closed it at pretty good price there, $250 profit. And there were a bunch of trades in between. Here's another really good trade as well. This was like a 30-minute trade, another $450 profit. But what I'm getting to is I'm not here to boast about what I'm doing. I apologize if that came off kind of wrong. I'm just letting you guys know that I'll be making more live trades, and I'm also pointing out the fact that Monero had a wonderful day as well. And it's at 231 right now. Tempted to short it again very soon, probably. And we take a look at Bitcoin, guys, and it's not wanting to go down. I'm not kidding you guys. Like, it is not wanting to go down right now. We see the volume actually picking up. It dropped after its historical 1-hour high, where it had the highest 1-hour volume. Sorry, I'm just my chair. I want to lean it. I want to lean back, and it holds there. So I love my chair, guys. I'm using a Global Roma 1907 chair, and it's like the best chair that I've ever bought. I think I bought it for like 800 American or something. Really, really good chair there. So this one here, we ended up getting a massive uptrend, right, with the biggest bullish 1-hour candle and volume that we ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. And then for the next 3-4 days after that, we were trending to the low $5 billion. And then yesterday we picked it up again at about $6.9 billion, and today we're at about 6.5. So what I'm generally gathering from the sentiment, okay? Now, markets are not determined by sentiment. We have to understand that. But another thing we have to understand is that the sentiment itself is actually very strong and bullish in general, especially after this 1-hour candle where it pumped, guys. Literally, it pumped from $6,750 to $8,000 in the span of 1 hour. Like, you have to think of a $1,400 pump where in 1 hour. So anybody who says that Bitcoin is very bearish right now, where we're going to get to the $2,000-3,000 range, I highly recommend to reconsider that until we actually break some very pivotal numbers. If we actually broke well below the 7,200 range, then that's when I might start to get a more bearish outlook. But as it stands right now, how could anybody assume a bearish market is in play when we have had such astronomical numbers that it's really difficult to argue with this fact right here as well right now, right? So let's take a look at Bitcoin and see where we're trending right now. First thing that I'm going to do is put it in a log scale over here. So log scale, very good for evaluating it over time. Draw a very long line from December 17's all-time high there of 19,891, and then just make sure you're actually connecting it to these lines as well, where it is, making sure that it's touching it in some way. Now, I always have said that a sloped resistance is not nearly as important as a horizontal resistance, right? So, of course, in my opinion, right here, this high of $8,458 is much more significant than this sloped resistance right now. So it just depends on when we're actually going to get there. So there's a lot of different ways to take a look at this right now, all right? So let's take a look at some possible different counts that we might have had, okay? So let's just say, hypothetically, that I were to modify my count. But first, let's go over my original count that I've had, all right? Let's go over the original count. How did it go again? I can't remember. I honestly can't remember it. I can't remember for the life of me now. Okay, this was the original count that I had. 1, 2, 3, right? And I said it was going to be roughly around 74 to 7600 range. So we'll just choose like around right here, 76 on average. 4 and 5, where we're going to break to 9300. I still firmly believe, guys, that we are going to get to the 9300 range, okay? And the reason why I say we're going to get there is very simple. Because if we take our Fibonacci extension And actually, let's go over a quick lesson first of all, right? Let's go over a lesson on how to use Fibonacci retracement and Fibonacci extensions because I want you guys to get a good grasp on it from the way that I see it personally. So we're gonna call this right here our wave one, right? So a lot of people, what they do is they don't really buy on the first wave coming up. So if this was waves one and that's waves two, what they make a mental note of is this horizontal resistance, right? This resistance right there. And then what they do is as soon as this price right here breaks it, that's where they start to buy and they go long. Boom, they buy right there. And then what they do is they take a Fibonacci extension. Fibonacci extension is basically taking the first point, the high, and then the next low, right? Like that. And it projects based on this distance right here, how high it can actually go up. So if it went to, for example, this number right here, 100, what that means is this line right here and this one right here has the same price action. It has the same price movement where it has actually gone upwards. So it went 100%. So this distance right here would be the exact same distance right here. Same magnitude, right? So yeah, so that's 117 and 117. Well, if it went 161.8, that would mean that it went 161.8% of this one right here. So if this was 100, well, if you simply just take this price right here of 117 or whatever it was, 118, then this price right here is literally 168% of 118. So that's how you see it. So what a lot of people end up doing is they target the 161.8 extension right there, simply. And then what they do is they wait for some sort of correction that comes down to over here. And usually the first set of data, this wave one and wave two right there, can easily pinpoint the next wave as well. And sometimes the third and the fourth wave is actually not even dependent on it. So what we'll usually say is it has a chance to hit the 261.8 region, but also a little bit less depending on some psychological factors, such as key round numbers that might be impacting it. So I'm just deleting some of the lines here. There we go. So if we see that this region right here hit 161.8 with flying colors, right, so far, then we can easily assume as well that this one could get up to the $9,300 range. And we'll use also a psychological factor and a round number of about $9,000 that it could hit. Now, we have to break out of this major key line. If you guys notice something right here, just based on symmetry and the telemetry of this particular line where it's angled at the same way. So this angular action, whatever you want to call it, is similar to this one right here, right? What we're also noticing as well is that this is a key region, right? Just hypothetically speaking, that's kind of a key region. Even if I were to go, down over here or whatever, we're still seeing this as a key region that it needs to break. So a major resistance that we need to keep in mind is that it is at $8,458. That's such a key number for us to break right now. We're around the 84 to 8,500 range, which coincides with two major resistances, which is this major resistance that's been formed since the December 17 range, and also this previous high right here in the intermediate term. Is that the word interim? Interim? I don't know. I gotta Google that word. I always feel like I make up words sometimes, but yeah, English is not my first language. Keep in mind, guys. I speak many other languages. Well, I guess it is my first language, but I think in another in my native language, believe it or not, and I speak that language as fluently as I speak English. And yeah, so I was just thinking for a second there of speaking my native language, and I'm just like so excited to go to Thailand. I haven't really told Mel yet. I'm sure that you guys have always heard me talk about Mel, and like she's kind of like my bestie for now. And yeah, sorry, every time I think of her, I grin. So she's in Thailand right now, right? And she really needs help trading, put it that way. Okay, she wants to become a better trader, and I am 100% certain that near the end of May or very early June, I'm just gonna fly to Thailand and surprise her and just stay there with her for a little bit. Not with her, but like just stay in Thailand, and we're gonna really teach her how to trade because she's going to be my official first student in trading, put it that way. And I'm going to groom her into a killer trader in a few months from now. So hopefully I get to spend time with her as well, which is the main goal. And we'll also get to work in a very remote location. So I am super excited to go to Thailand. And the reason I brought that up is because I was thinking about my native language, which is Laos, and I speak that very fluently as well. And Thailand or Thai culture and Laos culture is actually very similar. They're next to each other in terms of country. So I was just thinking that it's going to be awesome visiting her in Thailand and being able to speak and interact with the locals in Thailand because it's a very similar culture and I speak it and I understand it as well. Not speak it that well, but I understand it very fluently, like Thai. But Laos is the different topic, of course, and hopefully we'll actually end up heading to my home country as well, where I'll end up showing her around because I've been there a few times. Anyways, I get completely sidetracked, and I start blushing and I start grinning when I start talking about her. So um, she's awesome. We have like we have our Skype date like once a night or something for like an hour. So it's really cool to how I'm gonna one be able to go hang out with her in Thailand, two work remotely from there as well, and three also have my official first student. And I will not be taking any students until she becomes a crazy millionaire. So yeah. So anyways, because of what was I talking about again? I completely lost track. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, I remember now. I'm talking about this sloped resistance line right here, okay? And also this 8450 to 8500 range that needs to be broken. So this is my official first count that I have right here, right? This is my official first count, and I'm going to show you guys my alternate count as well, where well, let's just label this properly, right? So this is the first count where we're going to talk about it on a 4-hour chart here. Actually, was it a 1 hour or 4 hour? Yeah, it was like a 1 hour chart. No, this range is a lot better right here. 76 to 70, it doesn't mean you guys have to understand one major key thing, okay, guys, which is it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get to these regions. Now, a lot of people have said very naive and amateurish things, and some of the naive and amateurish things that they have said are things such as, well, you're always guessing two different sides of it. If it goes up, if it goes down, of course you're going to be right for one of them. Well, the thing that you guys need to understand is that this game is a game of probability, right? And because it's a game of probability, we have to understand that we are always constantly evaluating what is more likely to happen. What is more probable to happen? Well, is this most likely to happen, or is this most likely to happen as well, right? So we base our decisions based on, or we make our decisions based on what is more likely to happen, which has an impact on what we trade and how we trade as well. So please understand that, guys. I know I keep saying it, but it really is a game of probability, and we must make sure that we understand that if it goes up, then we do something, then if it goes down, we do something as well. It gives us an idea of how we should accumulate, how we should actually play breakouts as well. And yeah, like I always make sure that you guys try to, or I always make sure to reiterate this many times, right? And because we try to account for unforeseen circumstances, and if we actually can account for unforeseen circumstances when they actually happen, there's actually no surprises whatsoever. So the goal is to plan, okay? It's very important, guys. You guys know how I like to have how I like to prepare for A, I like to prepare for B. You always got to have a plan up to preparation H, even like that, right? I dropped that joke in there so subtly, but I just couldn't break out from laughing, so I apologize, guys. So have a plan A, have a plan B, have a plan C. If you guys have enough plans and you got your probabilities down of what is likely to happen, when these events do occur and finally arise and they come to fruition, then you actually have a more likely chance of being successful and profitable in your trades. That's personally how I see trading. So please make sure that you guys don't just say things like, okay, you're planning for it to go up, you're planning for it to actually go down. And of course, one of two things is actually going to happen. So please make sure you guys understand that simple concept in trading. I should probably end up moving this over here a little bit more just to be clear, okay? So this ends up going over here, right? And when you guys annotate your graphs, be very clear about it. Now, this is my case one, right? This is my main count, which I will gladly label. And I'm gonna make some notes right here. Okay, wave 1, 2, 3, 4 for completed. Okay, on wave 4, correction, right? A break above on wave 4 correction with target 7,400 to 7,600, and we'll just say 50 range or something like that. Okay, um, and this count main label. I didn't mean to do that. Main count. Main Elliot wave count. So then this count is simply invalidated by a break above 8,450, right? So that's this price right here, 8,458, which is the interim high, okay, which is the interim high. So we have to understand that, right? So this count is simply broken by simply getting to 8,458 right there. So this count is also validated by my Luna. It's the okay. Luna's doing it again, guys. Do you guys hear her yelling there? Luna, this is the Philicon show. You gotta really stop barking like that, Luna. I'm trying to put on a show here. It's the Philicon show, not the Philicon and Luna show. Stop barking, Luna. Sorry about that, guys. I had to mute my microphone there. She's still barking. She's still trying to get on the Philicon show, but unfortunately, I'm not going to let her get on the show, guys, because this is the Philicon show, okay? This is not the Philicon and Luna show. I know that most of you guys are simply just using me so you guys can see more of her, but that's not the case. She's not going to be on the show anymore. She actually steals the spotlight a little bit too much, okay? So anyways, let's get on with this. So I'm just going to call this right here my wave 1. I call this my 2. I'm going to call this the 3 range right here, 4, and I will call this my 5 range right there. Let's put this on a minuet time frame. Let's take off this right here, and I will simply have this count right there, okay? Like that. And this actually ends up, we're gonna just make a note right here, okay, that this is my main count right here still, and this actually ends up retracing to a fairly decent level, okay. We're gonna put this out here, gonna take out the 100. If you guys didn't know that, you can double click on the Fibonacci's, right? And you can actually you can double click on it and you can take out which ones you want. So you can put on the 100, which shows up, the 78.6. I usually keep at least just a 100 on there. I don't really keep 78.6 on there too much, right? So what we simply say is that this one here, um, just to give you guys a really accurate technical analysis here, we simply say that this target hit 161.80 extension or fib. She probably sees a squirrel or something, my dog Luna. This target hit 161.8 fib extension from waves 1 to 2, right? Something like that right there. So this is something that we can simply say right there. Therefore we assume since wave 3 hit extension 161.80, we assume that wave 5 can hit 261.8 extension with a can hit a psychological range of 9K. We can hit a psychological range to 261.8, which is 9,000 to 9,300 range. We'll just say like that. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay. So that's basically one of the key things right there to make note of. Now we also have to make note that this range right here, this is a massive resistance zone due to, okay, this is a resistance due to one, the massive resistance formed since December 17, and two, the interim high of $8,458, okay? So we have to make note of this right here. I'm actually going to make this a lot smaller. I apologize for typing it on screen, but sometimes people learn a lot better than, a lot better by just seeing people learn differently, put it that way. Sometimes people like to have things written. Sometimes people like to have things, said to them. Some people learn by watching. Some people learn by listening. So it's kind of trying to accommodate for all the other people out there as well that learn differently. So that's kind of one thing right there. If you guys didn't know, if you actually hold down control and you drag something in what do you call it? In TradingView here, it actually ends up cloning it, which is kind of cool. I just learned that a few months ago actually, and it changed the way that I trade. Actually, it's kind of cool. So I hope this makes sense right there as well, right? And yeah, this seems like to be a pretty good chart, right? A really good chart like that. So this is my main count here. Now, and also we want to make note. We want to make note of the Fibonacci retracement as well, okay? And then it will actually retrace to a decent fib region, which is going to be from, a decent fib range. So I'm just trying to make it a little bit nicer for you guys as well here, because I want to present this chart to the public, right? Always spend a lot of time making your charts, guys. I really mean that, okay? It's very important to have a very presentful kind of chart that's appealing as well, okay? 7,000 0.382 to 0.5 fib range between 7,400 to 7,650 range. We'll just say something like that, okay? Like that. And we also have to acknowledge this simple fact is here, or a fact here as well, that this will act as a very hard type of resistance, okay? So this region right here will act as a very hard type of support, right? Let's just actually draw a trend line right here, where this point acts as a very hard resistance, which was, support, which acts as resistance. This is wave 1 territory, which will act as a very hard support since it was previously a form of resistance. So that's very important to understand this concept of as well, okay? So this is how I do my charts. I'm just trying to annotate it to actually show you guys how I do my charts as well and the process that I think about. So if I do this on screen, like take it as a learning example as well, right? Where, or a learning exercise. So it's a good way to actually improve your skills as well as a trader. So I'm just going to post this on my Steemit really quickly if you guys don't mind here, since I don't want to pause the video. It really takes a lot of time to do it. Okay. Otherwise, I gotta do the chart like literally all over, and it just takes so much time. Like when I actually spend like a minute or two doing it in the video, I actually end up saving a lot of my time, which is kind of very important to me. Okay, so this is Elliot main count right here. Okay, remember this. This is my main count right there. All right. So then we're going to go over an alternate count as well, because it's very important that we actually present both sides of the table, right? Last thing I want is for you guys to only have one specific count, which is actually not fair to the public. So this is one count, right? Now another count would simply be this, right? We're done retracing. We're done retracing. So this is invalidated by a break above 84.58, right? So another count is we are actually incredibly bullish, okay? We are incredibly bullish and we actually start making way to up there, right? So now we are actually done retracing. We're done retracing. I'll write on here. we have hit only between 0.236 and the 0.32 fib region, which would imply an incredibly bullish market, and happens between 5 to 12% of the time. So the reason I say 5 to 12% of the time is because 0.236 retraces 5% of the time for Bitcoin, and 382 retraces 12% of the time only for Bitcoin, which is a pretty crazy statistic actually, but it's important to follow these types of statistics because it gives you a really good gauge, right? It gives you a really good gauge of what could actually be going on, and how you could approach it sometimes. So that is the bullish count right there. Now we still get a very hard resistance in this area right here, okay, which I'm still going to make note of. Actually, I'm going to put this up here now because it makes a little bit more sense. So I hope that this makes sense to you guys as well. I apologize for being so meticulous. I feel bad for taking up your time, and I should prepare ahead. But it's ridiculous, guys, the amount of time that it actually ends up taking to, do this properly like this here. So we are done retracing, and this actually has hit only 236 and the 382 fib region, which would imply an incredibly bullish market, and happens between 5 to 13% of the time, right? So this is going to be my alternate count Elliot wave. Alternate count Elliot wave. So waves 1, 2, 3, and 4 are completed, right? A very bullish retracement, of only 0.236 to 0.382 fib levels, okay? This count is validated. This count is validated now. Validated by a break above 8,458, right? So we have to look at the game of probability and understand that that's all that it is, guys. We're just playing the games, and we're just playing the hand that's dealt us, right? That we're dealt. And personally, in my opinion, a simple break above this particular region right here, okay? This region right here, this is a hard resistance zone. So any time we break above this 84.58 region, it's going to be a very, very, very significant number. As soon as we break one above this resistance right here, and above this previous high right here, wherever that is, right? I should probably end up writing, yeah, this is a hard resistance. So I do believe if we break 84.58 and around this hard sloped resistance that's been formed since December the 14th there, that's going to be very indicative of a good bull run, and this count will actually end up being validated, in my personal opinion, okay? So that's how I see this right here, right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this one here? Minute? I don't want minute there. I want There we go. This makes a lot more sense, right? We can actually get rid of this as well. So because we're done correcting, we can say, right, we're done retracing and have hit only 236. So this is now my second alternate count right here, where if this is indeed done, then we can get some sort of very bullish pattern, right? But in my personal opinion, this is not a valid count, okay? And the reason why I say that this is not an actual valid count and not my primary count is, let me show you guys the reason why, okay? The reason why is because I'm going to clear all this out now, actually. It's simple. Watch this. When I actually, you guys can get it yourself here as well. Go to these lines, go to parallel channel, and just do it as if you were drawing a normal line, right? Draw a line like that, and what do you guys see? You guys see a channel in here that's forming with actually some very, very decent resistance and support points as well. So very difficult for me to assume that the second count is actually valid because we're getting this channel in here already right now. And also, if we take a look at the daily chart here, right? Not really sure if this has any more room to go. We're hitting some massive resistance zones right now. So I just want to annotate properly for you guys on the screen here. Though my main count is more validated because we are looking like we are in a channel. Main Elliott wave count is the primary count due to this channel forming, right? We are also seeing due to this channel forming. That makes sense to you guys, I hope. Okay, this channel forming, and we're also seeing basically on a 2-hour chart. Let's just go there, right? We're seeing a double wick. Okay, we're seeing a double wick, double wick, double top wick, 2 candles called tweezer tops. Okay, that's another major reason as well, right? So this is why I personally see it as my possible ABC still count right here. That's, probably, who knows? Looks like it might be 5 waves up, but we don't really know. That's why when I do my Elliot wave like that in here for ABC, it looks more like a flat instead, right? That could end up being. So I still see this as my main count between 7,600 to 7,400 range, or whatever it is over here in this particular way. So I hope this makes sense to you guys as well, right? But you guys got to understand that these counts are simply invalid, whatever the word is, invalidated. Um, if we get a break above the 84.58 range right there. I'm trying to get this in here, but it's not working. So this is more of my main count here. I'm just going to copy and paste this really quickly as well. I have a good system that's been working so far so well for being able to copy and paste charts for people to take a look at, right? So this is kind of one of the main reasons why I think that this is my main count here. And if I actually do, for example, ABC in here, if it was like a flat type of pattern, if I do, simple fib extension here, however that may be at 1-to-1, we still see that this is still at around the 7,600 range, actually, okay? Actually, you know what? I should probably do that on the other chart. It makes more sense, right? If I do 7,600 range, or if I do Elliott wave like that, and I do my 100 extension right in here, a one-to-one hit, double wick tweezer tops. If this were ABC, if this were AB that just formed, then AB fib extension 1-to-1 hits precisely 7,602 range right there. So is it coincidence? Right? Is it coincidence? I don't know. It looks like it could be AB though, just from the way everything is going right here. So it's really hard for me to trust me guys, I want to be bullish for you. You guys need to know I want to see a bullish count. But to a trader that's experienced in the market, just because they see like a $100 $200 pump, it doesn't really mean anything to them, right? They need a lot more confirmation on a grand scale. So what we're seeing though is it did try to break above, or sorry, below the 55 moving average here, right? And according to the death cross, it is starting to curve up around a little bit, but it hasn't officially golden crossed over quite yet at all, right? On the 4-hour chart, like we look at the RSI, it's very, very neutral territory, guys. Honestly, it's very neutral territory. You guys gotta remember that the big players out there, like they see this as range bound, right? They see this as, only an 8% movement, and they're after kind of the bigger plays out there, right? Or not an 8% movement. They're seeing this as like a tiny, tiny little movement only of like 3-4% only. So a lot of the bigger players are just waiting for more confirmation of a break above specific key resistance areas. Until then, we don't really know. Not only that, on the MACD here, we're not really crossing over to the positive side on the histogram quite yet. When we cross over to the positive side, that's when we'll actually end up getting the histogram tick upwards and a possible MACD crossover. But until then, there's not much to say. And we even take a look at it on a 3-hour chart here with only 34 minutes to go. We're getting a hanging man candle already. If you guys are not familiar with what a hanging man candle is, let me just explain to you guys very quickly and the psychology behind a hanging man. So if this were your candle like that, okay, this is what a hanging man is right there. Unfortunately, it's exactly as the name implies, a hanging man, like that, where there's a wick on the upside and there's a the body here, and then there's a wick on the downside. But what this implies is that the bulls actually attempt to push it upwards, but the bears reject them, right? They reject them all the way to the downside, and the bulls push it up a little bit as well here. So the bears are actually regaining control. And when you actually look at this rejection wick from 81.90 to 82 whatever, we rejected $40 twice over the past 6 hours, over 2 3 hour candles. So that's also indicative that right now above the 8200 range, it's acting as a very hard type of resistance right now, and the bulls simply just can't break that. So we look at RSI, right? It's kind of useless looking at RSI, but if we just do a longer term one, like we can kind of see this pattern kind of forming right here where it is making kind of like a channel almost, right? Almost like an expanding diagonal for a flat that's coming downwards, right? So we're hitting some resistances right now for RSI if we just kind of loosely draw it like that, right? Where we get some bull breaks or bull trapped regions, bull trap, right? That's where we're getting bull trap. It just ends up poking out a little bit as well. Now the RSI is definitely looking like an expanding diagonal like that on a 3 hour chart. On a 2 hour chart here, if we just keep moving down the scale, probably the exact same thing as well, almost, right? Probably almost the exact same thing. It kind of poked out of it a little bit like that, but it's there's not much indication, guys, of what's going on right now in terms of finding a consistent pattern. If we're looking for patterns, we can more so just play based on supports and resistance areas. But one thing I do want to make note of is that 8,000 is a very strong number, right? Every time we end up getting to the 8,000 side, bulls end up pushing it up. Though I do want to make note very clearly that this is actually acting as a very strong support region right here, okay? Every time we're getting to the 7,000, for now, this is just a this is just an observation note, okay? Observation note that this range is currently acting as a very strong support. Each time we break into this range, a large bull buys it up, and we can easily make note as well, okay, where it is. We can make note that there's, there, right? They're buying it up, they're buying it up. They're buying it up over here, they're buying it up right here, they're buying it up here. Not there, but more so right here, and they're buying it up right there as well, right? So we're definitely seeing this range of it being very, very, very heavily supported, right? So we have to make sure that we understand that hence the reason, um, important, hence the reason why I provided an alternate count, okay? So this needs to be thoroughly understood as well, that the bulls are absolutely trying to buy it up every time it hits these particular 7,800, 7,900, 8,000 kind of ranges, right? So that's why that alternate count could very much so be viable. So let's go over this very quickly and give you guys a quick summary as well, okay? So the general tone of this, I would have to say, would be like it's important to understand the tone, right? Um, I there are two alternate, there are two Elliott wave counts. An alternate was provided because we are currently seeing bulls defend the 7,800 to 8,000 range, right? The main count is invalidated if a bull breaks. If a bull break happens, if a break actually break occurs, I'm typing it wrong, I apologize, occurs over $8,458, right? Simple as that right there. But if we actually break, like what region right here, if we break say 7,800 range, which I'll actually write here for you guys as well, right? If we break 8,000 7,800 range with conviction, the main count is on the table, and we can see the 7,400, 7,600 range, just like that. I actually want to make note of this very quickly, okay? If we break 8,000, 7,800 range, we'll see the 7,400 to 7,650 range. Okay, so this is very important to understand this scenario right here. So right now, currently to me, I see this as this, okay? This range right here is basically a no trade zone to me, okay? I personally see this as a no trade zone because it's too sideways for my being. I see 7,000, you know, it's simply a no trade zone to me. But I'm not going to write that in there because I don't want people to think that I'm saying that for everybody, because it can certainly imply to a lot of different people, right? And you guys will obviously choose different probabilities and setups based on what you see fit best for you, right? So yeah, that's kind of how I see it. So let's review very quickly what we've gone through since there's been a lot of information so far. This is actually a good way to present it. So I see there are two Elliott wave counts, okay? Um, An alternate was provided because we are currently seeing bulls defend the 78 to 8K range. The main count is invalidated if a bull break occurs over 8,458. If we break 7,800 range with conviction, the main count is on the table and we can see the 74 to 7,600 range. Long-term bias is still bullish. Okay, medium-term bias is bullish. Next week, I see it as bullish. Short-term bias today, I'm neutral. I'm on the fence, 50-50. That's why there's two different counts right now. Long-term prediction, wave 3, I still see it, guys, as I still see it as massive, massive. Primary wave 3. I should probably delete that primary wave 3 because it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, right? What it means. Long-term prediction, $35,000 by 2019. Okay, so what we're seeing, just to summarize very quickly, is that there is a hard resistance zone right around this range because the massive resistance formed since December 17 and the interim high of 8,458, which is this previous swing high right there. What we're seeing is this targeted a fib range of 161.8, which is extensions 1 to 2 of this one right there. And since this one hit 161.8, we'll simply say that wave 3 can hit extension. Since wave 3 hit 161.8, we can assume that wave 5 can hit a psychological range to 261.8, hit a psychological range to the 261.8 fib extension, which is between 9,000 to 9,300 right there. And this alternate count says that we are done retracing and have hit only 236. Whoa. Did I delete that by accident? Okay, that's the alternate count. I was really confused there because I thought we were talking about the main count there for a second. Let's talk about the alternate count first, which says we're done retracing to this level between the 236 and the 382 fib range, which happens only 5 to 12% of the time, right? Now, the main alternate count says that waves 1, 2, 3, and 4 are completed, a very bullish retracement of only 236 to 382 fib levels. This count is validated by a break above 84.58, right? Simple as that. Now, the main count right here, I should probably alter it because I should probably say as well that the main count is invalidated if a break happens there, but also remember that the main count is validated if, sorry, I should probably write on here as well to make it very clear. Main count is validated. Main count is validated if we break, if range is broken. Simple, right? The main count is validated if 7,800 range is simply broken. That makes sense, right, guys? So yeah, that should make a lot of sense now. This was a very different type of analysis that I've done where I'm kind of annotating on the fly as well for you guys, but I think that this is very important. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do that at all. No, I deleted my alternate count. Oh, that was really frustrating, guys. That was really frustrating. It's okay. I'll end up doing it again. Actually, I'll get it from the video. That's right. I'll get it from the video. So anyways, I'll let you guys look at this over. This was kind of a long video as well over here, okay? But we already went through the alternate count. But for the main count here, same thing applies, except we're going to retrace to roughly the 382 to the 0.5 fib region, which is between 7400 and 7650. This is still a very hard resistance area, right? The main count, 1, 2, 3, waves are completed. On wave 4 corrections still right now, with target between those ranges I mentioned. And this count is invalidated by a break above that number right there, which is the interim high, right? And we have to make sure that we remember that this main count is validated if we break the 7800 range right there, right? The main count Elliott wave is primary count due to this channel forming double wick on two candles called tweezer tops. If this were AB that just formed, then AB fib extension 1-to-1 hits precisely 7602 range, okay? And this one I'll end up deleting it actually because it shouldn't be there. So yeah, I'll get my alternate count from the video of this one right here actually. So other than that, guys, I think you guys have my thoughts. It's been an extremely long technical analysis, but I think that I owe it to you guys since we got to make sure that we stay on top. This is a very pivotal moment for Bitcoin this week, and I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page with everything going on right here right now. So other than that, guys, have yourselves a fantastic day. If you guys have found all of my information useful, please go to Steemit and upvote my content. You guys can go to the bottom of each page here just to give you guys a very, very quick overview of how to upvote. If you guys haven't made an account on Steemit, I would really appreciate that because for every vote, I end up getting a penny or two, right? And if enough people vote for it, hey, it's a little bit of extra income just to let me know that I'm doing a fantastic job for you guys. So you can actually upvote it by clicking this little button near the bottom over there. And if you guys especially want to let me know I'm doing a great job, you guys are welcome to contribute to Luna's alcohol fund, but it actually goes towards Luna and Philicon. That's my dog's. It's a little cryptocurrency piggy bank there. And you guys are welcome to buy us a lunch or a dinner or a beer or something just to show us that we're doing a great job. Other than that, have yourselves a great day, traders. It's been really nice talking to you all, and I'll see you sometime in the future. Bye now.